Welcome to the True Leaders podcast, where we dive deep into the stories, strategies, and mindsets of individuals who are not just at the top, but who are truly shaping our world for the better. Join us as we uncover what it takes to lead with purpose, integrity, and real impact.
Good evening to our viewer tonight. My name is Evelina Ndoyamashangeta. I'm your host tonight. Welcome to the True Leader podcast, where we deliver raw and authentic insight to help you navigate the complexity of modern leadership, featuring guests from various industries and life experience. Our topic for tonight is around culturally aware leadership. Our topic for tonight is around culturally aware leadership. Our guest tonight in the studio, I'm joined by Dr. Darlington Alozi, who is the founder of Center for Anti-Xenophobic Study and Restitution, and he's also the founder of Center for Africa Tradition Study, and he is a UN ambassador on culture in Africa. Before I introduce our second guest in the studio, good evening, Doctor.
Good evening. Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Welcome. Our second guest in the studio is Miss Anastasia, who is based in the UK. She is an entrepreneur born in Ukraine. She specializes in the field of luxury hospitality and real estate. She's also a business consultant. Good evening, Miss Anastasia, and welcome to the True Leader podcast.
Good evening, both. Thank you for having me today.
Welcome. I'm so glad to have the two of you both in the studio tonight, discussing a very important topic, which is a culturally aware leadership. Before we dive into our questions, I would like to ask Dr. Darlington, I want you to tell us about the two institutions that you have founded, the Center for Anti-Xenophobic Study and Restitution, and the Center for Africa Traditional Study. Can you just briefly tell us about this institution?
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate your time because these are one of the topics that I've been expecting most African people to delve into when they are trying to share awareness with youths and leaders. The Center for Africa's Traditional Studies and Cultural Affairs is a research center which enables African culture to be carried along in terms of leadership of the people. And the Center for Anti-Xenophobic Studies and Restitution, it's as a result of cultural xenophobia going on within African settings. I found out that we African people have one problem. And that problem is we have not accepted our own. And when foreigners treat us bad, I ask myself, this way you're treating your brother. So what goes in within the introspective cultural society of Africa is xenophobia. And we don't know how to restrict the minds of African people to be part of the democracies of today. So, and when you look at democracies of today, it does not reflect African culture. So that is why most of my advocacies is just on the path of restoring and restituting African culture to a standard point. So, Center for Africa's Traditional Studies has a goal, which is to produce African Cultural Dictionary, which you can see today over in Africa. We have English dictionaries everywhere. And these are propagating the cultural knowledge and value of the English people over in Africa. But with the Center for Africa's Traditional Studies, we're going to come up with African Cultural Dictionary and educate our young minds, like in the UK. My daughter lives in the UK, but she is a black African, but white mindset, European mindset. So what Center for African Traditional Studies does is an educational center where people can come in and learn about African culture and do's and don'ts in their tradition. Through the dictionary, it will strengthen their knowledge of African culture, things that the food we eat today, where it came from, things like that. So that is just a bit the difference of the two centers and how they are working.
That I'm so excited to have you in the studio today. It's one of the topic that people do not really touch in. I've never had a discussion where people are talking about being cultural aware. Before we dive into the entire conversation, I would like Ms. Anastasia to tell us about your specialty in this industry of tertiary hospitality and real estate.
The thing is, I had experience in real estate and luxury hospitality when I moved to London, but now I moved to business consultancy side because I found that that side is very overlooked. And I combine science with business consultancy to help business owners to navigate their businesses that are aligned with themselves and with the universe. So in terms of cultural differences, I'm seeing a lot of because my clients they are worldwide. So I have clients from Nigeria, I have clients from Dubai, from Romania, from Portugal, and it's very important for me to have awareness and to know what is their culture, what is their culture, what is their food, what is their traditional food, and I think what Dr. Darlington is very important what you do, because a lot of people they don't know their roots, they don't know what the traditions are, and it's very important to have such centers like you created. I think in any country and in any community, for us to keep the knowledge passing to the next generation, and to make the world aware. This is not just just a country. There is a huge background, there is a huge history and a lot of culture behind it. So yeah.
That's very interesting. At the end of the day, our meeting point is the culture and making sure that whoever is it that we interact with or the world that we are building understand exactly the role of culture either in society, in business, in the community setup. I would like to ask each one of you a question. I need a definition. How do you understand? How do you define culturally aware leadership? And how is it essential in this world? Let's start with Dr. Darlington.
Okay. For me, according to my understanding of this, it's a process of leading the people with the cultural mindset and developing a goal with an inclusive platform that has the people's right. And the reason why it's essential is because on the global platform where we display culture leadership, if we separate culture and leadership has systematic platforms at which the people are being governed. Now, there's democratic leadership, there is royal leadership, there is other forms of leadership. But culturally influenced leadership is a leadership that has the mind, that has the structure, an inclusive structure that gives the people an indigenous right. Indigenous right is not a citizen being bullied by the police. So the reason why our leaders are not understanding culturally aware leadership is because they don't know they don't even know their culture and what is applied and how it can be applied. Because while I was living in London, it's totally different the way the police approaches you. I'm not saying that they are saints in the whole thing, but the thing is, the way the police approaches you will give you kind of human respect and dignity. But when you come to a country like my country, Nigeria, the citizens, the way the police approach you determines, in fact, the way you dress determines the way they are. If you dress well, or if you're not dressed well, they don't approach you with respect. So these things are what the police are not aware, is because the culture of the democracy we have in Africa does not reflect the indigenous right of a common citizen, for in any case, Nigeria, for example. So our leaders are not understanding that a common person has right, and he doesn't need his right to be breached. Just like Ukraine and in Gaza, his children has right. They are not respected. We are not making decisions that favors their future. You see how they are being killed. So look at the way Ukrainian children are being killed as well. All these things are because we are not aware of the indigenous right attached to that this earth belongs to everyone. Then every child, every adult need to know the essential part of culture in making it part of their leadership process every blessed day. To cut this short, while I was in Ghana, I went for a program, a talk show program in Ghana. I discovered that Ghanaians are applying culture in their leadership, but influences of other cultural leaderships are still battling with it. So we have not understood, our leaders have not understood the importance of cultural aware leadership in governing the people and in planning and in making decisions that involves the people. Because in culture, people have respect. In culture, leaderships are seen. In culture, we examine and exemplify every aspect of rulership, and every value the leader has will come in check, because the traditional rulers of your culture, the custodians of your culture, knows more before you were created as a living state right now. So culture has been in existence, and it's something that we have to adopt to check the principles we are applying today, whether it's right or wrong. So leaders, it's very important that our current leaders should be aware of the cultural norms and legalities that should be applied in everyday sense of our government. Thank you.
Wow, that's an overwhelming definition, and I keep